services. Now, as being the guild, because you are the head of the students, how are you going to handle such kind of issues?
You see, members, I need to tell you that when you are serving people, you must serve people effectively and diligently. What do I mean? You must not underlook at issues affecting the students. That's why we have the leaders. We have the coordinators, we have the JRCs from various faculties, we have the JRCs for general, even the JRCs for clubs and sessions. All those people, they are working to ensure that the services we are giving to the students is appropriate and it does not have challenges. So if there comes a situation, maybe in a faculty, the students are not the students are not receiving the best services, what do? We liaise with the JRCs. Of course, when the students face challenges, they first approach their leaders. And when they approach leaders, we encourage the leaders to take part, not to sit on issues. Even in a classroom, in a lecture room, you realize that if there are challenges, the students will always report to the course coordinator. And if that is just the hierarchy of issues. So when the issue reaches to you, you take the appropriate decision. But as being a visionary leader, you must take actions based on the situation. And you must always be ready to solve students' problems. And when we started, I say that our main issue as students is to find solutions to students' problems. And these solutions you can solve them either as guild council, or you can solve them in departments, maybe faculties, and up to the top management, based on how challenging or how bigger the problem is.
Very good. In that regard, also you may come to realize apparently course coordinators, I'm very sure that have never been considered since I reached to Muni here. Now, there are some course coordinators, the students may report to them, but they don't know where they can take these issues to. Why? Because the guild, maybe, I'm sorry to say this, maybe the guild doesn't value them, or they don't know where to go. And now, in maybe some 1 minute, you are sure, or the course coordinators out there, how will yours be very unique?
You see, members, this is one of the reasons why I've come on board. I have been a leader here, and I realized that guild does not include the coordinators in the system.
For sure.
And when the leaders are not included in the system, working with them becomes very hard, coordinating with them becomes very hard, and getting feedbacks from them becomes very hard. And in my term of office, I promised to the students that we are going to ensure that we work hand in hand with the coordinators. Through the Ministry of Academic Affairs, we work hand in hand with the coordinator. The resources in the Guild Council must be allocated to the class coordinators to actually give them some small allowance, maybe of airtime, maybe of even you can at the end of an academic year, you can even reward these class coordinators with certificates, and that one motivates them to do the work effectively. And in my agenda, in my vision, you realize that I put the student-centered and inclusive leadership for academic excellence and social transformation. What do I mean by that? I want to include the students in the decision-making aspect of the guild, and the students are represented entirely by the class coordinators. And that means the class coordinators must be part of the students' guild, and also through the various clubs, we are going to ensure that through the clubs and associations, JRC, we incorporate all the clubs to be part of the guild council, such that they can make decisions for the general students' body.
And by the decision making becomes very easy.
Yeah, very easy.
They normally say a good leader, or being a leader, you are not you are only there to serve, and the bullying is not because of responsibility.
Yeah.
And I promise you, if all this goes well, that is being a visionary. That's what
It is
I'm saying.
true, it is true.
And you talk about student resources, and under that note, I have something which is intriguing. You may come to realize, if you happen to be the 11th grade, you may have your cabinet, which will consist of different ministers. Now you may come to realize, in case if there is embezzlement or misconduct of this cabinet of years towards the Gilly Fund and student resources, how are you going to handle that?
Okay, thank you. You realize that in leadership, if you base your leadership on financial stand, you will not deliver. And as a leader who wants something for the students, you will always advocate and use what is little for the council to do work for the students. What do I mean? There are very many things which as a girl president or as the ministers, they can put in plan that will need money. So we shall ensure that we utilize the monies that are given by the university to carry out these planned activities as they are supposed to be. And one of the key things which I want to implement in this period where I will be in office is, you realize that we are facing a challenge of water, clean drinking water in the university. If you take the main campus down there, the faculty of health science, if you go to faculty of management science, there is no clean drinking water. So, where the students actually they use their own small monies from their pockets to buy water. These waters in the bottles, and that one is economically very challenging for the students. And so, if given the mandate to serve in the 11th guild, one of the things I will do is, one, you advocate in the time of office, you advocate for water purifiers. If you advocate and the administration does not give, you can plan it in there. You can actually budget it in your guild budget at the beginning of the regime. And if that is not possible, we have NGOs outside. For me, I am connected with very many NGOs in Western Island here. Since I have been serving as a leader, many of them know me. Through those advocacies, you can be able to lobby some funds to ensure that you help the students.
Take clean water.
Yeah.
Because water is life.
There are so many things which we need to look at, but